Oh, it says it's okay. It says starting recording. Do you have a notification that says Yuri's recording the call?
Yes, I see that.
Okay, perfect. Well, hello everyone. Okay, that's perfect. All right, then yeah, that means we're good to go. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of One Plus One, your place for inconvenient truth telling and myth busting. And on the program tonight, we we return once more. What? One moment. We return once more to the subject of Haiti. So it's another all things Latin America edition, or the Americas, our Make Me Wanna Holler, all things Black people's struggles, and all things Haiti. And on the program to discuss what's going on in Haiti is Haitian-Canadian Jennie-Laure Sully, an activist and feminist campaigner who is part of the Haitian-Solidarity network and part of the true people power movements of Haiti. And some of her feminist work is focusing on anti-sex work, which I hope we'll get the chance to discuss. If not, we're definitely going to save it for another time. But first off, Miss Sully, welcome to the program. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm
It's
glad
it's
to
a
be here.
real Likewise, it's a real honor to have you. And the first question I actually wanted to ask you is talk to us about the current situation that's happening in Haiti that people should be aware of, because most of the times when Haiti is covered, the rare times that it is covered on the corporate state news, it's mostly talking about how Haiti is dominated by gang violence, that Haiti is beyond ungovernable, and the US, Canada, and France should therefore intervene under a special UN mission. Demystify all of this for us and explain to us why the UN shouldn't intervene, but that if there is a problem in Haiti with gang violence, what should be the best way to overcome this current situation that's happening that's happening in the country.
Okay, well, in the mainstream media, they will talk to you about gang violence, and very often they will not give any context, whether it's historical context, whether it's political context, economic context, and that's part of the problem. Whenever you hear about Haiti, there is this tendency in the mainstream media and even in some alternative outlets to just use like certain cliches regarding Haiti and to talk about the poorest country in the hemisphere, or to talk about how Haiti is it's chaotic and everything. So basically, it's just a continuation of really, I would say, a campaign to malign the Haitian people. It's a campaign to give a bad perception about Black people and Black nationhood. The idea is that Black people can't govern themselves. And that's what the media is always somehow conveying in their reporting about Haiti. So what we actually need to do is use the correct words when we're talking about violence in Haiti. These people are actually mercenaries. They are really paid to do what they are doing. They are linked to the rich families, mostly white families, that run everything in Haiti. And these families, they've been doing this not just recently, like we've been hearing about the gang violence recently, but when you look at Haiti's history, all you have to do is go back to the Duvalier era, and even slightly before that, there was always like armed groups that would defend the interests, economic interests of certain families that were basically afraid of the masses, of what the masses might do, because these families take all the wealth of Haiti and don't provide any services, and they they make deals with political the political class. And so that is part of the problem. This is nothing new. What's happening today in Haiti has happened in Haiti's history before, but the names were different, you know. And that's basically what I would start by saying. So, and one part of the big, like part of the information that's missing when they're talking about violence is the fact that Haiti doesn't have any weapons manufactured. It doesn't manufacture weapons. So where do these weapons come from? That's the big question. And there's been reports, there's been studies that have shown that practically 90% of the weapons come from the USA. So the weapons are being, you know, shipped to Haiti, and they pass through the ports. The ports belong to rich families like Bijo, for example. You have other rich families that use what I call mercenaries. People can call them bandits or gangs or whatever, but basically they are paid to terrorize the population. They are paid to make sure that there is no popular uprising against the system of corruption that has been put in place by those mafia families and the PHTK government. And before that, like I said, there were other corrupt governments who used that technique also.
Wow, that's quite fascinating. And actually, just before, just before we get to to the second question, so because that's very fascinating what you're saying. So basically, what we're witnessing right now in Haiti is some kind of an internal kind of like mob, in other words, like a mob war that's going on between the very wealthy families over who gets to control most of Haiti's economy. So is that what's basically what's going on? And the so-called gangs and the so-called gang violence is basically just one one wealthy family having a dispute with another wealthy family that controls that controls most of the wealth. So is that what's really happening then in Haiti when yeah,
I
yeah,
would say
that.
political factions and wealthy families, like these wealthy families, they have their like hopes, political hopes. For some candidates over other, they have like their preferences in terms of a candidate that they would rather see in government. And the thing that we need to understand also is that the PHTK, there's a internal power struggle inside the PHTK party, and
The
they are
PhD
trying.
and the PhDK for for people who don't follow Haitian affairs very closely, that is the neo-Duvalierist party that the West has often backed. Of course, the Duvalier family does still exist, but that's basically like a Duvalierist aligned or neo-Duvalierist political party, right?
Yes, they've been described as neo-Duvalierist, and they didn't hide it when they came to power. Like when Martelly came to power, he was always a big fan of Duvalier, and he didn't hide it. And um, uh, after that, they've welcomed, Duvalierists in the government. Martelly came to power after the earthquake, and then Jovenel Moïse was his successor. Jovenel Moïse was assassinated, and what many are saying is that there was plotting inside the PHTK. Some people in the PHTK wanted him dead, and probably some people in the American embassy, but we don't know. We're left to speculate. But the fact that he was assassinated without his security guards really trying to protect him, the ease with which he was assassinated raises a lot of questions. And the fact that it was not possible to do an investigation in Haiti, and the Americans ended up having, taking over the investigation, which doesn't make any sense, really. That leads everyone but not everyone. Some people buy into the propaganda, but a lot of people are saying this is a cover up. This is, we don't know what really happened, and we don't know who are the guilty parties, and there's a lot of things that we don't know beyond the assassination. What exactly happened, we still don't know. Even though recently they did say that someone was named was named as one of the person who organized the plot to get Jovenel Moïse killed. People are saying, okay, like they're giving one name, but we need to know a lot more about exactly what happened.
That's wow. That's unbelievable. And then, but Haitian solidarity activists, those who are part of the Haitian left, who would like to see an end to endless Western imperialism and Western meddling in Haiti, are calling for no like special UN intervention in Haiti. So hypothetically, if the U.S., Canada, and France were to get their ways and have this special UN mission to stop gang violence, what would be your alternative? So what are people such as yourself calling for when it comes to the international community, like, and why do you? Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, so I'm curious. Your response on that. Like, what would be a much better alternative than a UN mission, which, of course, if it's led by the U.S., France, and its allies, it'll be disastrous for Haiti. So, what would be the alternative to that you and the true international community who want just policies in Haiti be advocating then?
The real solution should be in the hands of the Haitians. They should be able to choose their own leaders, set up their own system of government. They do not need any intervention whatsoever. That's what we've been saying in Solidarité Québec Haïti. No intervention whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. No foreign intervention, no intervention, basically, because we don't really want to get into those kinds of details when you start saying, of course, all countries need to have cooperation with other countries. All countries need to be. But the thing is, Haiti needs to be able to choose what type of help is needed. It can't be imposed from outside. It can't be imposed from Ottawa, from Washington. It can't be imposed from Jamaica. Right now, there's a bunch of PHTK, mostly PHTK politicians meeting in Jamaica with foreign leaders. And the thing is, this is being done outside of Haiti. This is, another way to sort of discuss how others can fix Haiti. This is still, in that same, it's the same ideology that Haiti needs to be fixed from outside, from others, and Haiti cannot be fixed by the Haitians themselves. So that needs to stop. We really need to let the Haitian people do what's best, do their own mistakes, and just set out their own course. And this cannot be done from outside. I believe that in terms of solidarity, there's always ways for the Haitian diaspora or anyone who really cares about Haiti and about being, not charitable, but really in solidarity with Haiti. There are ways to help directly, associations that work in different communes in Haiti. That's something that can be done. And I believe also that in terms of country to country cooperation, South South cooperation would be better. So Haiti has been getting help from Venezuela, from Cuba, and it's really because of all the meddling from North America and from Europe that Haiti has been in a crisis. There are Cuban doctors who go to Haiti and who offer their help. Venezuela in the past, when there was the earthquake, they provided help with no strings attached, with no conditions
Exactly.
that they change that policy and that policy. That's the type of cooperation, international cooperation that Haiti actually needs. And Canada, the USA, and European countries are unable to give that type of solidarity to Haiti. They don't. They really see Haiti as a country that needs to be kept in check because they're afraid of the influence that revolting masses in Haiti might have on the region. And so if they are afraid and they're trying to keep them in line, they will never really they will never really treat the Haitian people on an equality, footing. So, yeah.
So then is it safe to say? I mean, this is a stupid question, but I have to ask it. But so is it safe to say that if another if another UN led intervention, and if it is like because a UN led intervention led by the United States, France, and Canada, the three countries which have nonstop played a reactionary roles in Haitian affairs since the Haitian Revolution and so forth. If those countries are that if a United Nations mission is granted and it is led by the U.S., France, and Canada, all we're going to see is one faction of a Haitian oligarch that the West and its allies feel that they can do business with, just getting more power. But in terms of alleviating poverty and supposed gang violence, that's not going that's not going to be addressed at all. So it's just one faction of the Haitian oligarchy which is going to be propped up if a UN mission is granted, right? Or
Yes, that's what will happen, and I think we'll see a lot more desperation. We'll see a lot of people that will be forced to leave their homes in the rural areas. They'll try to find jobs in the city, and they won't find it. They'll end up in the slums. They'll end up in the cycle of violence. So you see, they're saying that the intervention will help. What it will do is in the beginning, put like a pause in the type of violence that we're seeing now, because of course, once you have the intervention, at first, they will show that they are being efficient, but they will do what they've done in the past. In the past, like we have seen, that the poor neighborhoods were targeted by the UN missions, and they were repressed. They were murders. There was violence from the UN soldiers directed to the Haitian people. So that will start again. We saw rapes when they were there. A lot of unwanted pregnancies, like young girls left with children from for those soldiers. So this is the Haitian people have been through this already, and they do not want this. They know they've had like intervention. The last one, the MINUSTA, lasted like over a decade, more than 16 or 17 years. So they remember.
When the U.S., France, and Canada overthrew the democratically socialist elected government of Aristide, yeah,
That's
there was that UN MINUSTA, but then there was another UN intervention under the uh, under the illusion that it was helping out with the earthquake efforts, and there more human rights abuses happened.
Exactly. Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. So that's it. Right now, actually, what people need to realize also is that the UN is actually in Haiti. They have an office there. It's called the BNU. That's the French acronym. I don't know what it is in English, but we call it the BNU. And theoretically, they should already be helping in terms of, making sure that there's peace and democracy in Haiti. That's why they are there right now. So, I mean, they
Yeah.
are there, they are failing at what, their stated objectives are. And now they're saying, well, give us like the opportunity to do more of the same. I mean, they had the opportunity to show that they could help, and they never helped. And right now, there is an office of the UN, and they are a problem, and they're not part of the solution.
Thank you for explaining all of that, and that's a perfect segue to this question. Going back to, the media, going back to media and whatnot, which is, speaking of, the gang violence, and one gang leader that's often spoken of is Jimmy Barbecue, who Haiti Liberté editor in chief Kim Kim Ivers or Kim Eves and Dan Cohen. They've done a documentary series on Haiti, and they believe that that Jimmy Barbecue is getting a bad rap from corporate state media, and they believe that he's a revolutionary leftist who would like to overcome Western imperialism, and that he's getting a bad rep from Haitian leftists and other outside leftists. I'm curious, what's your assessment of him, and do you agree with past guests on this program, Jessica Haiti, Jean-Saint Vil, who thinks that BBQ is not somebody to be trusted? I'm curious your thoughts.
Listen, we've been in touch with people in Haiti. Some of the members of Solidarity Québec Haiti have been present, have gone to Haiti recently. Some of members or allies. So we're always in touch in some way or another, virtually or physically. And he's not even actually a topic of discussion. I mean, the way that he's being, no, basically, he's not like, people are not that interested in him. And a lot of people that we've talked to know him as a corrupt ex-cop, basically, and who did a few videos where he talked about revolution, but, he doesn't really have a big following other than where he has like a stronghold, like he has like the certain neighborhoods where he's basically one gang leader among others. There are other gang leaders, and he is not known as a revolutionary. So we've been hearing like people talk about him, and we saw the articles, and the way he's being portrayed in the articles and what we are hearing, and I would say what we're mostly not hearing, because a lot of people, some people don't even know him at all. So I'm like, what kind of revolutionary is really mostly known like from outside of his country? Like there's a documentary about him, and like there's not like a mass movement of people following him. how can one be a revolutionary and not have like a mass movement around him? I mean, I
Interesting.
don't see it. I just don't see it. And the other thing is, the thing about uh, Jimmy Cherizier that really got me like wondering what this guy was all about was when he did videos, and there's one video he did when Jovenel Moïse was still in power, and he said that he didn't want to see anyone in the street. He didn't want any protest in the streets, and there was like a big protest that was announced, and he did that video, and he said whoever is out there will get what's coming to them in Creole, of course. He said something. And I'm like, okay, so this guy is supposed to be a revolutionary. A protest is announced. He goes up on YouTube and tells people, well, it wasn't like, it was a video that ended up on YouTube, but it circulated on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and he tells people not to go out to protest. So this has been done in the past. Again, I tell you that this gang violence phenomena in Haiti is used to control what goes on politically in the country. Oops, sorry about that. It's my phone. Yes. So this has been done before, because if you have someone like that who can terrorize people and stop them from protesting, and you can also use them during the election time. So this is all about controlling certain groups of people that you do not want to be involved in um, in the politics of the country, whether on the streets or when it comes to voting. This is what it's all about. So that's our analysis at Solidarité Québec Haïti. We understand that, you know, when people from outside and people who don't speak Creole and people who haven't been in contact with the Haitian people on a regular basis, Haitians in the cities, Haitian in the rural areas, when we have family there, we have people for decades, like Jean-Saint Vil has been there so very often. We have this is about our lives, this is our cause, and we understand what's going on in Haiti more than someone who's just an outside observer and who's getting a narrative basically, and who just has that narrative to to assess the situation. And I think sometimes leftists get caught up in a narrative that suits their what they wish to see happen. There's a lot of wishful thinking. I would love it if some revolutionary would rise up and, change the situation. I actually, at first, when I didn't know too much and I heard that some revolutionary was speaking and I didn't know about, Jimmy Cherizier, I was like, oh, yes, I hope it's true. And then when I started seeing the videos, I started talking to people. I was like, no, that ain't no revolutionary. I'm sorry. You see? So I think that
So,
some
so you do
leftists.
so you do think he's a grifter then? That's yeah. In other
I
words, yeah.
I think that some people got caught up in the idea of a revolutionary, and they don't want to let go of it, but there's no facts on the ground that really prove that Jimmy Cherizier has a revolutionary movement behind him. You cannot be a revolutionary if you don't have a movement with you. That's basically it.
Fascinating. And what current and I have to ask this question then, going back to another, hopefully it won't happen, but if another UN mission is UN intervention happens in Haiti, I'm wondering what currently are the states of Mexico, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic's positions. And can you compare that to Venezuela and Cuba, which you actually spoke earlier? You spoke favorably of Venezuela and Cuba in terms of their in terms of their attitudes towards Haitian affairs, and yeah, compare and contrast that to the current governments of Mexico, Brazil, and Dominican Republic. And a reminder to our audience is that Brazil has played a very, very negative reactionary role in Haitian affairs. The Dominican Republic historically has also played a reactionary role in Haitian affairs. And sadly, AMLO, who more and more is starting to push back against the American, Canadian, empires in his own country's domestic affairs and other Latin American affairs, and even standing up for Julian Assange. But when it comes to Haiti, Mexico again plays that I'm a progressive, I'm a socialist, I'm a liberal, I'm everything except Haiti. So talk about those three countries compared to Venezuela and Cuba at the moment when it comes to Haitian affairs.
Yes, basically, well, they played along with the U.S. Goals in the past years. That's what we've seen. Haiti, besides Cuba and Venezuela, has had no real regional friends, and a lot of Haitians say that Haiti has no friends, because at the end of the day, yes, Cuban doctors have helped and Venezuelans have helped, but they've had hard times too. We can't, and very often their help has been restricted in many ways. So in terms of the countries that you're talking about, Brazil had like geopolitical ambitions, and they when Lula was, was okay with sending troops, Brazilian Brazilians as part of the UN soldiers mission that went to Haiti. This was a way for him and for Brazil to sort of geopolitically project that they were important players on the geopolitical scene, I could say. So we're afraid that that might happen again. That could happen with Mexico also. And what the U.S. is doing also is playing the divide and conquer game. Basically, it's been doing the
Yes.
Washington government has been doing that in the region for for a very long time. So we don't know what is being discussed behind closed doors with AMLO or with other heads of states in South America. So that's our fear that they will be offered certain things by the U.S. imperialists, and they might decide to say yes. So that has happened in the past. Our hope now is we no longer are in a unipolar world. I guess it was very easy for the United States to convince the different heads of states in the region to do what basically what was their agenda. Today, we hope things will be different. We're not sure about that. We'll see how it goes. And we know that there's a lot of racism. There's colorism in the Americas, and the Latin America is no different. There is racism there. There's colorism. So we know that Haitian migrants were not treated very well in Chile or Brazil or in the different countries that they migrated to, and people forget that the migrants, like the flow of migrants that we've seen in the past years, they're fleeing, they're leaving Haiti because of the conditions that were created by all those foreign interventions by the US, Canada, and France embassies in Haiti. This is the work of the core group. And, when you have Haitians fleeing and going through like 14 countries and trying to go to the US and then to Canada, this is a direct result of the foreign policy of the US and Canada. So yeah, they've created a problem inside Haiti for Haitians and outside of Haiti for Haitians.
And actually, I was I can't I wasn't planning on asking this question, but I actually have to ask this follow up question, which is, talk a bit more about about that, because one of the things which really makes my blood boil when we talk about Haiti is the fact that Haiti does suffer from a very unique form of racism, what I call acceptable racism. In Europe, there's a lot of racism against the Roma, traveler, Sinti people, and it's called and Romophobia is called an acceptable form of racism. And oftentimes, when those involved in the Palestine solidarity movement, they often run into those people who are called, liberal or socialist or progressive on everything except Palestine. Oftentimes, it's people who are aggressive on everything, especially Palestine. And I find and there's a bit of a similarity when we talk about the plight of indigenous people in the US, how the plight of Native Americans doesn't get as much solidarity compared to all of the other marginalized groups, especially when we talk about, anti-imperialism, anti-racism, and so forth. And yet the plight of indigenous people is often left out of that. And oftentimes Haiti, I remember when interviewing Jean-Saint Vil, I was just shocked how over and over and over again in history Haiti experiences that kind of an acceptable form of racism, where you have Latin American heads of state, even those who are governed by left-wing governments or left-leaning governments, who talk about standing up against the U.S. empire and against the pan-European empires, and yet when it comes to Haiti, over and over again, they throw Haiti under the bus and even actively participate in the in marginalizing Haiti while defending Cuba. So I wanted you to talk a bit more about that. Why do you think that unique form of racism is inflicted on your people? And how can solidarity activists try to try to overcome that when it comes to lobbying for an end to imperialism being inflicted on Haiti?
Yes, that's a good question. I think that the Haitian people have been demonized. Basically, you just have to think about Hollywood. All those movies about voodoo and everything. It goes back like a long time ago, and they started depicting Haitians as scary and dangerous and weird. It started back with the occupation of Haiti by the Marines, like back in 1915. They started creating a narrative to isolate Haiti, and I would say even before that. I'm saying like in the recent times, I'm thinking about all those Hollywood movies and everything that the Americans did to demonize Haiti, to make people from Haiti look like dangerous and problematic, and it was like that. But let's never forget that Haiti is defeated slaveholders. Like they defeated, and Haiti will not be forgiven for doing that. This is like something in human history that the powerful and their descendants still can't accept. that the most, the colonizers were actually defeated by people they had enslaved. And this is like a huge achievement in human history. And it sets such a bad example that it is important to demonize the people who did that. It is important that everyone, instead of thinking, wow, look at what they did, look at them and say, oh, we really don't want to be like them. And so there's been this narrative that was created to depict Haitians as, people you want to stay away from, people who are dangerous, people who are whatever, all those bad things they say about Haiti. So I think that's a big part of why there's a specific racism, a specific anti-Haitian sentiment, and if you look at the other side of the island of Hispaniola, in the Dominican Republic, I talked to you about the divide and conquer game. It was really, really done there. The Americans made sure that they would have in the Dominican Republic like a more on the same island, that they would give more privileges to that side of the island. And they made sure that Haiti would, they had a plan for the Haitian people. They wanted to somehow go back to a system of uh, they wanted to go back to a system of slavery by another name. It wouldn't be called slavery, but they would be basically cheap labor, and sweatshops would be installed in on the island. So that was the plan for Haiti. The plan was never to let Haiti develop. If what you intend to do with these people is just make sure that all they ever do is be cheap labor, then you don't want to let them develop.
Unbelievable. And and then sort of a second to last. Actually, before I talk about France, is what advice would you give then to those, not just those in the West, like Canada, Canada, particularly Quebec, France, and the U.S. when it comes to mobilizing against all this anti Haitian attitudes, anti-Haitian policies. But what advice would you give to those in Latin America when it comes to mobilizing to make sure that their governments don't play a partner in crime to the endless crimes against humanity that is inflicted on Haiti, like Brazil or Mexico or Dominican Republic or any country in the in that entire hemisphere, because even as you mentioned, you even have the Caribbean countries, the English speaking Caribbean countries like Jamaica, who are meeting with these right wing douchebags and all participating in the endless scramble of Haiti, endless colonization of Haiti. So what advice would you give to those who want to either form a Haiti solidarity campaign in any of those countries? Yeah, what advice would you give to them in terms of how to tell their governments to you know stop bullying Haiti?
So basically, they need to understand that the Washington consensus is over. This is a new world. It's a multipolar world. Things can be done differently. That's really what they need to understand. I get the feeling that some people are starting to get it, but it's still not quite clear in certain countries. And that's why one of the things we're doing, it has to come from the people. It has to be a grassroots movement that then becomes an Pan-African movement and then an international movement. I think there needs to be some consciousness in all Black countries, all Caribbean countries, like all countries where you have Afro descendants. There has to be, like, in those communities, the awareness that we need to unite as Afro descendants, first of all. And once that is done, we need to unite with all people who have been victims of colonization and imperialism, whether they're Afro descendants or not. And that's where you get to that real internationalism, you know? And so that's why what I see, I think there's a lot of popular education that needs to be done. In Solidarity Québec Haiti, we've been organizing popular assemblies in the Haitian community, but we've been connecting, like, with the student movements, with feminist movements, with unions, and the idea is to undo a lot of the disinformation that's been going on about Haiti, to, you know, let people know what's actually going on, to talk about Haiti's role in history, to talk about the fact that, you know, if we allow this country that fought for freedom, and that fight for freedom was, you know, something that was done for humanity. When you think about it, it wasn't just, you know, about Haiti. It was about humanity. When you look at the declarations of Dessalines, and when you look at the Haitian imperial constitution of 1805, they said anyone who set foot on Haiti is free. You know, stuff like that. We need to go back to that idea that this was for freedom for humanity. This is what the liberation of people everywhere. This is what they were fighting for, and they were very much aware of it. You know, and we need to remember that, and get that, you know, all those social movements to embrace the fight for liberation, because this is not just about Haiti. This is about the liberation of humanity.
One of my final questions I wanted to ask, which is, I'm curious, can you talk about how Haiti, if it is covered in French, in French media, state corporate media, or Quebec state corporate media, how is it covered, and what is the current state of the Haitian French community in France in trying to mobilize anti-imperialism in France and getting France to stop bullying Haiti?
Well, I know that there are groups that are organizing. We've been in touch with them in France and elsewhere. Some of the actions that we took, like, since 2019, were done with Haitians in France, and we are still, like, in touch by emails about, you know, seeing what we could do. So yeah, there are Haitians everywhere who are aware of that, the need to build that very large solidarity movement with the people of Haiti. And they understand that this very large solidarity movement, it will be possible. There are more chances that it will succeed in the multipolar world.
Okay, and I have to ask this question, which is, when we talk about the racism that Haitian migrants experience, whether it's in the neighboring country, the Dominican Republic, or the entire region of Latin America, and the unique racism they experience when they're in those terrible American and Canadian facilities. Do you think that there needs to be a special Haitian Haitian focus groups on those Haitian immigrants that are met with extreme xenophobia, since oftentimes when we even talk about, Haitian immigration and the Haitian diaspora, it's often, it's often left out when we talk about the plight of Central Americans, Mexican immigrants, and others who flee, who flee the violence, which is caused by, the U.S. by U.S. Canadian policies. But do you think that there needs to be special Haitian focused groups when we discuss the xenophobia and all those interconnected issues?
Yes, we've done that here in Montreal, and in other cities of Canada. There have been like groups that mobilized and that protested in front of offices of MPs and politicians, specifically about what was going on with the Haitians. And there's a Comité d'Action des Personnes Sans Statut. There's been like like we call it a concertation pour les Haïtiens, but it was like a group of a regroupment of several groups that came together and specifically talked about what was going on with Haitian migrants. So that has been going on at least since 2015 here in Quebec. And the migrant rights movement is very strong in Canada. There are groups like Solidarity Sans Frontières that we've worked with and that have done specific actions regarding how Haitian migrants were being treated. And they've done it for other people from other countries also, but they did have those actions specifically for Haitians. So I think that's something that could be done in other countries to really focus, like to have specific actions and to have like petitions specifically about Haiti and about status giving papers, status to make sure that people get their status. And all of those actions can be done specifically for Haiti, and then it doesn't have to be just Haiti. Sometimes we also talk about the other migrants but we just need to make sure that it's part of the actions, the series of actions that are being organized in terms of fighting for migrants' rights. Yeah.
And then second to last question is: do you think if more people who are part of specifically Haiti-solidarity campaigns, do you think more people should be lobbying heads of states more? So if we were to look at which countries participated in that ghastly UN mission in Haiti following the ouster of the democratically elected and popularly elected Aristide, and all the other crimes against humanity that was inflicted on Haiti following the devastating earthquakes and so forth, do you think if more people who focus on Haiti, from whatever country they are, but if they looked at which countries were part of those UN missions, that if they lobbied more their ambassadors or whatever elected officials, that maybe there will be more justice for in Haiti through the the kind of UN bodies or the diplomatic worlds?
Well, we have to put pressure on our governments, on our respective governments. I'm a citizen of Canada. I pay taxes here. I've signed petitions. I've protested in front of the offices of Justin Trudeau several times, and in front of other offices of different politicians. And the idea is to get them to stop funding the elections in Haiti, because they're rigged elections anyways, and these are my taxes paying for rigged elections, fraudulent elections in Haiti. So that's one of the things, like, we at Solidarité Québec Haïti have been asking the government, just stop funding those rigged elections in Haiti or anywhere else in the world, actually. This is a problem. Like they keep talking about foreign interference in Canadian elections. It's actually projection. It's
Exactly.
actually them doing it in other countries, and now they're saying, "Oh, the Chinese are, interfering in our elections." Come on, you're the one doing it in Haiti and elsewhere, so please stop. So that's one
Exactly.
thing, they really need to stop doing that, and they need to get out of the core group. We can't say it enough. They're part of this group of ambassadors, basically like some sort of a union of ambassadors. I mean, nowhere else in the world do we see something like this, and for some reason it's supposed to be acceptable because it's Haiti. So we keep asking them to get out of the core group. And I honestly think that they do not have the moral high ground. They do not actually, we shouldn't even be listening to any solutions that they might have for Haiti if that is not guaranteed that they will not fund any elections and that they will get out of the core group. They need to do those two things first, and then we can actually start to listen to what they have to say. I think we shouldn't even listen to what Justin Trudeau or Melanie Joly or any of these people have to say if they don't do these two things.
Actually, just before I get to the question there, uh, actually, and just actually make a final pitch, because I think you did a very good job explaining why people actually should study the Haitian Revolution. But make another pitch again, and to some of our white socialist, white Marxist friends who, hey, I'm not saying that we should not learn about the Russian Revolution. We should learn about all of those different revolutions, but make a pitch as to why the Pan Africanist movement, the Pan Latin American movement,
Yeah.
and also those white socialists and Marxists, why they actually should study the Haitian Revolution. And since you are a feminist, if there's any Haitian feminist that that you think me and other people should study, feel free to suggest.
Yes, these are very good questions. Do we have about 3 hours, 3 more hours? Yes.
I'm doing the Yuri Rogan experience, but it all
Uh,
depends on you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think leftists in North America and Europe, white leftists do need to realize that when they are talking about revolution, like they have a set of ideas, and they do not take into consideration that the actual practice of revolution um, comes from Haiti, and it comes from Latin America, and they have a theoretical understanding of revolution. They do not have a practical understanding of revolution. Anyway, a lot of the white leftists I know, that talk about Marxism all the time, they know about Marxism, but they need to broaden their horizons and look to what's being done in other parts of the world, not just in terms of revolution, but in terms of social innovation. We hear about eco socialism, and it's actually in Latin America and Cuba, and that a lot of it is being experienced. So they need to listen to find out more about it, and to stop using, like they feel like they have to teach the global south about revolution, and they have to tell them who their revolutionary leaders are. I think they should step back a little bit and learn. They might learn something if they just listen and just let the voices of listen to the voices of Haitian people, get in touch with communists, Marxists in Haiti. There are a lot of them, and they should learn about the history of Marxism in Haiti, actually communism in Haiti and communism in the Caribbean. They should learn about Jacques Roumain, Alexis. They should learn about CLR James. I mean, they should focus a little bit more on those thinkers that were from the Caribbean and read more about what they've written. And in terms of feminism, I often, when I talk about the history of Haiti, I start with Ana Kaona, who, chose death over becoming a concubine of the Spanish conquistadors. If you look at the history of Haiti, we need to start with Ana Kaona. And that history tells us that very often women are left to choose between, sexual slavery or death. And that's the story. That's how it starts with her, so and she was actually a chief, there was Kaonabo, who was her brother, and she was part of the Arawak people. I always have a hard time pronouncing that. And so Ana Kaona fought alongside her brother against the Spanish conquistador. And when she was captured and she was offered the choice to save her life by becoming a concubine of one of the conquistadors, she said she would rather be hanged. So very often that history that might seem very far, centuries ago, that is still what's going on today. And that is what the Haitian feminists are fighting. They're fighting for their lives, and they're fighting to not have to choose between, sexual slavery or, dying. That is still the choice that a lot of women in Haiti that they are facing today. So I'm in solidarity with the feminization movement, who's fighting very hard to end the corruption, to end patriarchy in Haiti, to end all systems of domination in Haiti. And I think that the women can really change the system. I think that a lot of the protest movement can be, given more life again if women are in the forefront.
You've been so generous with your time, and just before I let you go, we end the program doing the questionnaire that was done by Marcel Proust, later the popular French broadcaster Bernard Pivot, and then later my hero, the late great James Lipton of Inside the Actors Studio. So Jenny, it's your turn to do this. What is your favorite words?
Liberation.
What is your least favorite words?
Domination.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Nature.
All right, and then what turns you off?
Lies.
Okay. And then what sound or noise do you love, followed by what sound or noise do you dislike?
The sound of the sea. I love, love, love the sound of the sea. I was in Cuba recently and I'm dreaming about the sound of the sea. Yeah.
And then what sound or noise do you dislike then?
Sounds that you hear when you're in traffic. Ugh.
I know exactly what you mean. And then what is your favorite curse word? And it can be in any language.
My favorite. I don't like curse words, actually, to be honest.
Okay.
No, I can't. Nope. I don't have one that comes to mind right away. Nope.
Okay, we'll leave that one blank. And then what profession, if you weren't doing the great work that you're doing, what profession would you love? Yeah, what profession would you love to do?
That I would love to do, not be good at. That's what you're saying?
Uh, yeah. What profession would you love to do? And I'm sure you would be great at doing it.
I would love to sing. And I sing a lot in my shower and in my car. But that's, you told me something I would love to do, but not necessarily be good at.
And then what profession would you absolutely not want to do under any circumstances, then?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a tough one. Not love to do under any circumstance.
Yeah.
I guess being in the army, and armies shouldn't exist.
I completely agree with you on that. And then the final one, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say as you arrive at the pearly gates, or whatever is your vision of the afterlife? And even if you're an atheist or agnostic, feel free to answer.
What I would like to hear?
Yeah. What would you like to hear God or multiple gods, if you believe in multiple gods? What would you like to hear he, she, or they say as you arrive in the afterlife, and whatever is your vision of the afterlife?
Okay. You did good. You accomplished your mission.
Wow, we were joined on this wonderful edition of 1+1, our All Things Haiti edition, with Jennie-Laure Sully, who's part of many Haitian solidarity groups and feminist organizations. Jenny, the next time we have you on, I would love to talk to you about prostitution, sex work, and why you're opposed to it from a radical feminist perspective. But we're going to save that for another time. But until then, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time today, and I hope power to the people, death to global white supremacy, power to the people, and death to imperialism in Haiti. And I hope both of us live to see the day where Haiti can truly be free. And as people say about Cuba, let's Cuba breathe. I hope that I hope that we both live to see a day where that can happen with Haiti. And the people power movement need to step up their efforts in demanding an end to the bullying that goes on in Haiti. But thank you so much for taking the time off, and hope to speak to you again very soon in the future.
Thank you. Yes, I hope so too. Bye-bye.